Hello everyone, hope you're doing good tonight. Had a good night hanging out with those that were on the live stream and chit-chatting. Had quite the surprise there. We're running into a guy who claims to be a Middle Eastern, well, Saudi Arabian refugee because he's an atheist. That was actually quite the interesting night, that is for sure, on the way it was ended. So as is, we were listening to techno acts into the year. For the intro there, we'll be also listening to some techno acts for background music here, since for those of you who probably got headphones on, you probably hear a TV sort of in the background, and I want to try a little experiment tonight. And we'll be listening to some more techno acts music throughout the night, and as a soft background noise going on here. Oh, you know what? And I just realized something. I keep making this mistake constantly. I need to change up my alert profile setting. Give me a moment here. We are still using the mobile setting from last night. And so the chat disappears after about 60 seconds or whatever I have that setting for. So I just reset it, swapped it all up, and also make the text a little bit bigger for people viewing on computer and all that stuff. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, hopefully that is all fixed. Let me double check. See, Sam, I am saying they got a hangover. I'm gonna hit test real fast here. Make sure that is getting through. Is that getting through? Okay, got through on that. And do I need to relaunch this? Okay, no. Yeah, I'm not battling a hangover. I only had, what is it? I think 2 drinks, maybe? No, it might have been 3. Yeah, it was 3 drinks I had that night. But anyway, it's been quite the interesting, fun things. I think towards the end I'll cover some of the drama or beef that has been a roasting over the fire pits between me and Captain Vlogs, or Vlogs, or however you want to call him. But nonetheless, I want to, before we get started, put out a little shout out to all those who are subscribed, followed, and all that fun stuff. Where is it? Where is it? Yes, in the last few hours, thank you, The Fear Havoc, for following me on Mixer. Thank you, Louis Riviera, for subscribing on YouTube. Doc Jazz, Phil Sanderman, 360 Randoms, and Frostix 2013 all subscribed in the last several hours, and I'm able to actually because of Streamlabs, I actually have it, and I have it linked up with all these channels. I'm able to see all those that subscribe and all that stuff, and keep track of it and be able to give shout outs to a certain extent on that part. But I think we shall get into the meat. Don't know if it's true, but Louisiana, you can apparently get a DUI for operating a public elevator. Again, don't know if it's true. Oh well, you're gonna get some good chuckles out of this one, because of how the law works over here in Oregon, and that's where we're gonna go over the specifics, and you're gonna get a good check. Yeah, Sky Renner, Mixer is sort of like Twitch or YouTube Live gaming. Where you're able to stream to. It's operated by Microsoft. They started it up I think last year or something like that. It's mixer.com if you want to check it out. I do have a live stream going there, and there has been a few people that have been following me on there and checking it out and all that stuff. So this way, as is, the idea is I'm streaming to multiple platforms. It's not just Twitch. It's I'm doing YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and of course Mixer. Yeah, Captain Asshat, boo. Yeah, you guys are gonna love it at the end when I lambast him. But let's get the education part out of the way here for tonight. And it's gonna be a fairly quick one on that. Let's see, let me make sure I get the right tab up here. So this way we are all looking at the same page. And as usual, citations are actually in the YouTube archive. In the description, but let us go ahead and transition over. Alright. Oh, and I forgot to do something real fast here. Give me a second, guys. I forgot to track my cursor for this one. This way we can Let's see where it's all moving on here. All right. And transition that in. There we go. Okay. So, this website, OregonLaws.org, what they do is, I don't think it's state ran or something like that, but it does have the laws for Oregon State. And so let's go ahead and look at, what was it, 813.010, oh, ORS 813, and see what it says. I think I got a hair in my mouth, on my tongue. Okay. Section 1. A person commits the offense of driving under the influence of intoxicants if the person drives a vehicle while the person, and the key word, a vehicle. And I'm going to go over these parts right here. Has a 0... Oh, thank you for the follow. Dang it. Let me look at my dashboards here, because I'm not going to catch that fast enough with the OBS. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, Cloudy Sierra. But anyway, back to reading this. Has an 0.08% or more body by weight of alcohol in the blood of the person, as shown by chemical analysis of the breath or blood of the person made under ORS 813, implied consent to breath or blood test, 813.140 chemical test with consent, or 813.150 chemical test at request of arrested person. B is under the influence of intoxicating liquor, a controlled substance or an inhalant, or is under the influence of any combination of intoxicating liquor, an inhalant, or a controlled substance. Now, as is, this is quite interesting with this, because in Section A, they actually point out a blood alcohol limit right here, the 0.08. But in subsection B here, also under the influence of just the intoxicating liquor. So you could still get a DUI if you're under 0.08 with the way this is. And there's actually, about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a good video on YouTube somewhere. If I can remember to figure out where it's at, I'll try to post it in the citations later on for this video, where people were getting arrested for DUIs for being underneath the 0.08 limit in their state. And it's mainly because of something along these lines right here. You have something in the law that lists that. And as is, if there's a combination, like maybe you have some sleeping pills in you and also you drink, well, guess what? And now it doesn't necessarily need the entirety of that 0.08, because you have a combination of potentially 2 substances that might deal with it. Well, actually, I don't think sleeping pills would count. Well, a controlled substance would be anything that would be causing you impairment for the most part, that is regulated by prescription or something like that. Let's finish this up. A person may not be convicted of driving while under the influence of intoxicants on the basis of being under the influence of a controlled substance or inhalant, unless the fact that the person was under the influence of a controlled substance or inhalant is pleaded in the accusatory instrument and is either proved at trial or is admitted by the person through a guilty plea. And so pretty much this is just stating that you can't be convicted on this unless you go through trial or you actually plead guilty to it. Let's see, a person convicted of the offense offense described in this section is subject to 813.020 fee to be paid on conviction in addition to this section. As this section, except as provided in subsection 5 of the section, the offense described in the section, driving under the influence of intoxicants, is a Class A misdemeanor, is applicable to any premises open to the public. So this right here states pretty much that it can apply to any place that is open to the public. So possibly that would apply to a parking lot. It would apply to any public street, obviously. Public trails, for those that like to ride ATVs and stuff like that. Subsection 5A. Section 5, subsection A. While under the influence of intoxicants is a Class C felony if the current offense was committed in a motor vehicle and the person has at least 3 times in the 10 years prior to the date of current offense been convicted of or been found within the jurisdiction of the juvenile court for the act if committed by an adult would be any of the following offenses in a combination, and this is just listing out the various combinations of offenses for furthering punishment and all that stuff. But what is interesting here is they specifically in subsection 5 state motor vehicle, whereas at the top here, a vehicle. So I'm wondering if any of you are sort of catching on. Let me bring up the chat thing. Sleeping details do count, actually. I had a DUI for driving with diphenhydramine. I think that's how you pronounce that, Claudia Sierra. Yeah, as I said, it depends on how the laws are labeled and all that stuff. So, and what the specific is. Decline the roadside acrobatics. Yes, you actually have a right to decline the roadside test. In fact, the roadside tests, even sober people can fail that, and it's a good idea not to give them any more ammunition than they already have against you. And those things suck if you might have maybe a speech impediment or something like that. You're not quick-witted to be able to count backwards or do the alphabet backwards. You might have an injury that prevents you from being able to properly balance doing the heel-toe walk, the line kind of thing. Let's see, misdemeanor for bike, enhanced to felony. Oh, and thank you. Giraffes lay gigantic eggs on Twitch there, on the follow. I love that name, that is quite hilarious. But let's go ahead and look at the definition of vehicles. And this is where it gets interesting. Vehicle means any device in, upon, or by which any person or property is or may be transported or drawn upon a public highway, and includes vehicles that are propelled by any means. Vehicle does not include manufactured structure. And do they actually have? I think this is two different subsections right here. Let's see. Structure has the meaning given a term underneath that, which I'm not even really going to dig into. Manufactured has the given term. Okay, yeah. But let's go ahead and continue on with this. And then here's number 2. Vehicles means any wheeled conveyance in, upon, by which any property, livestock, or commodity is or may be transported or drawn, but does not include railroad rolling stock. So it's sort of funny. They put an exception in the definition to a railroad rolling stock, which, if I remember correctly, I think that is well, let's go ahead and DuckDuckGo that real fast, because I think we all probably know what this is. Okay, I guess it's train cars. So train cars being like the exception there. But okay, I want you guys, let's see here, misdemeanor for bike. So I have a commercial license. If I get a DUI in my personal vehicle, I can't drive a truck/semi. Doesn't seem to be fair. Oh, it gets worse. Operating a vehicle while intoxicated, operating any motor vehicle, aircraft, watercraft, vessels, or any means conveyance. The operator is under the influence. Yeah, well, the thing is, if you look at it, it's a very broad term, especially with definition 2, any wheeled conveyance kind of thing. And so, in which case, you don't necessarily because with just definition number 1 right here, this would cover wheelchairs. This covers bicycles. So you can get a DUI for just operating a wheelchair, by a manual wheelchair, not a motorized wheelchair. This is just a regular wheelchair. In which case, I think maybe, and this law was written in 1983. Maybe they need to come back and revise it. They did do a revision, it looks like, in 2003. But nonetheless, you get the idea that this is a very, very broad law. If you are drunk and operating a unicycle, you could get in trouble for that, though it would be entertaining to see if a drunk person could operate a unicycle. Let's see, ORS 814 is application of laws to bicycles. Let's do a quick check on that real fast. Or was that one already looked at? 814, 814. We'll just go over to here. Oops. I missed, I didn't copy all of that, did I? Yeah, I just 814 that. Let's see here. Application of vehicle loss of bike. Every person riding a bicycle upon public way is subject to provisions applicable to and has the same rights and duties as the driver of any vehicle concerning operating on highways, vehicle equipment, and abandoned vehicles, except those provisions which by the very nature have no application when otherwise specifically provided under the vehicle code. And thank you, let me see if I can pull up the chat there. Thank you, Spy Satan, for pulling that one up. Kelly Q16, yeah, it would sort of suck because being in a powered, in a motorized vehicle would sort of count in that. But under Louisiana code, it's entirely possible to get a DUI while operating an elevator because an elevator is a means of conveyance. Well, if you're probably going by the definition within the Oregon statute too. You can't operate a wheelchair upon a highway. Oh. But the thing is, the definition of a highway. In Oregon law, let's see, highway. Means of every public way, road, street, thoroughfare, and place, including bridges, viaducts, and other structures within the boundaries of the state, open, used, or intended for use in general public for vehicles or vehicular traffic as a matter of right. And guess what? You can ride a wheelchair on the side of the road when there's no sidewalk. And there's places in Oregon where obviously there's no sidewalks, and if you're trying to go down the road in the wheelchair, you got to use the side of the road. For operating for the purpose of enforcing traffic offenses contained within Oregon Vehicle Code, except in ORS 810-230, unlawful sign display, highway includes premises open to the public that are owned by homeowners associated and whose boundaries are contained within service districts established on or before July 1st, 2002, under this law to Advisory Committee for Emergency Communication Systems. So there's even a little bit more of an expansion here for like sort of private driveways in a way that are owned by homeowners associations that give access. Have you? I've been tempted to start doing First Amendment audits. I'm all for people that are doing that kind of stuff, but as is, keep in mind there's a lot of unintended consequences when you go out there and do the First Amendment stuff. Just try to think about that. Is it going to impact your work? Possibly. Are you going to be insulated from the possible retaliation you might receive? There's a lot of cause and effects that come into play with doing First Amendment audits and testing. Think you mean you can be drunk on a sidewalk in a wheelchair? Yeah, you might be able to. But then again, I mean, including bridges, viaducts, they might. Or any other, and they have any other structures within the boundaries of the state. So this might cover sidewalks too. So just keep that in mind. Yep, in the road, then pulled over and let the others pass. I've been drunk in a wheelchair, fun times. So I bet there's probably some fun times that could be had with that. But as is, it is a very broad law. And I figure I'd share this with you guys on that. But what's interesting is also the implied consent. Implied consent, thank goodness, only applies to the operation of motor vehicles. Upon a premises open to the public or the highways of the state shall be deemed given consent subject to implied consent law to chemical tests of the person's breath or of the person's blood if the person is receiving medical care in a healthcare facility immediately after a motor vehicle accident for the purpose of determining alcohol content in the person's blood. If the person is arrested for driving a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicants underneath the applied law or municipal ordinance. So, as is, thank goodness, that when it comes to the implied consent, it doesn't apply. It only applies to motor vehicles, and the motor vehicle definition states, yes, it has to have an actual motor. Well, it has to be able to be self-propelled by some sort of motor means. And so if you're in a motorized wheelchair, the implied consent can apply in that aspect. If a person has not given express consent via signing the license agreement, I would argue I have a right to travel. That is true, Obtuse One. That would probably be the case, because you don't have a driver's license at that point, in which case it becomes a whole different issue of legalese. And as someone pointed out earlier, that they got a DUI for being on a horse, but I guess they didn't have a driver's license, and they tried the right to freely travel, which probably would work in that situation. But as is, I haven't really seen those case laws, so all this is, of course, hearsay when other people are referring to all kinds of stuff. And if you're able to find like those case laws or whatever, go ahead and feel free to post it in the comments section of this when it becomes an archive later on. So this way other people can know what you're citing or actually know the truth and all that stuff. But as is, it's always wise to sit there and go through the laws of your state for something that might apply to you. Part of the reason why I ended up looking this up was because I was actually at a Super Bowl party, and I biked over there, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, I wonder, does the DUI laws here in Oregon apply to people riding bicycles? And so I was like, well, I'm gonna whip out my phone real fast, and I'm sitting there and I look it up, and I'm like, sure enough, it sure as hell does. And I went and later on I looked up the specific laws and all that stuff because I was reading up on some information on like forums, just people that are posting and asking about it. And that's how you end up coming across all this stuff. You sit there and you go, huh, could this impact me? Well, why don't we look up the laws? So let's see if anybody else has experienced stuff. And this is something that you can do with a lot of things, whether you're, you may be out doing whatever, just some random thought comes across it, write it down or whatever, or look it up if you got a smartphone right then and there. See if it applies. See if it deals with your everyday situation. And, oh yeah, and one other thing I want to chuckle. This could easily apply to a rickshaw puller. So let's say if someone has got a rickshaw, it's the obviously conveyance where you got two people in the back, you got the guy pulling it in the front, and it's a wheeled conveyance. The way, let's see here. The way this would apply would section number 2 would cover rickshaws. So, I figure I'd give that a good chuckle right there. Hey ZZ78. He's the one with the kilt in the Darth Vader mask. Okay, what did I miss here? If you ride a unicycle drunk, you should get an award. I agree with you on that one, B007. Let's see. Piper does. Okay, you stated something I want to look at. Okay, we'll look at that here in a second. See if we can find this. Holy cow. We gotta see this. What do we go?
If you like spice and fish, there's this.
Let this ad play out here.
If you like fish but not spice, there's this. If you don't like fish or spice,
but
you're really going to like everything.
Yeah, that okay.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Okay, guys. So, do we need to up the ante or something like that, where I need to learn to get the bagpipes, get a kilt, learn how to ride a unicycle, and do this? That is nuts! Holy cow! That is nuts! It's a misdemeanor to be public intoxicating in my state. Yeah, public intoxication. Okay, let's look up public intoxication. I don't know if they got that as a state law, but there's probably a local ordinance, and I still haven't had a really good chance to look crime. Let's see here. Serving alcoholic beverage to intoxicated person, issuing or renewing permit fees. Abuse. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see a state law dealing with public intoxication. That makes the following a violation. Oh, guys, what do you know? ORS 430.402 states that a political subdivision in the state shall not adopt or enforce any local law or regulation that makes any of the following offenses a violation or subject to criminal or civil penalties or sanctions of any kind: public intoxication, public drinking except as to place where any consumption of alcohol beverages is generally prohibited, drunken and disorderly conduct, vagrancy or other behavior that includes its element either drinking or alcoholic beverages or using controlled substance in public, being an alcoholic or a drug-dependent person, or being found in a specific place under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance, using or being under the influence of a controlled substance. So I don't know how many of you guys remember several months back when I filmed the police harassing that one guy who was sleeping for an open container that was nearby. But it seems to me that the Eugene police might have been in the wrong with that specific issue. Maybe I'll need to go visit that police auditor's office tomorrow or something like that. And go and talk to him about this specific application of law and how it might apply to that situation. But it looks like the Oregon has state laws that prevent that can't do anything. Don't let Captain Vlog see a meat sandwich. Was you intoxicated in your house first, or... I'm not sure exactly when you're referring to on that. But that is quite interesting right there with the public intoxication laws right there for the Oregon state. And let's see, nothing in subsection 1 of the section shall affect any local law or regulation of any political subdivision in the state against driving under the influence of intoxicants as defined underneath that, or similar offenses involved in the operation of motor vehicles formerly in other statute listing. And for me, I'm not sure exactly Cop Watch there, Black Cop Watch, Blackable, I think that's how you pronounce it, Blackable Cop Watch. What you're specifically asking, if I was intoxicated in my house first, in which case, no, I didn't pre-trip it. I have zero sympathy for DUI. I do have similar stances because DUI is actually a big problem in the state of Alaska, and a lot of people get killed every year because of that. But nonetheless, you gotta... I'm against, like, DUI for riding a bicycle, per se, because... I mean, for crying out loud, the odds of someone causing a lot of damage with a bicycle is pretty low. They might run into someone, in which case they're gonna be held applicable to other laws like assault, battery, and stuff like that. Definitions. Persons means Arizona Vehicle Code definitions. Persons means an owner or operating motor vehicle or vehicle combination subject to the financial responsibility requirements of this article. Well, it sounds like they got the definition of a vehicle quite complicated over there in Arizona. BO007. Grove, would you have to be intoxicated to the point where you meet a certain back limit like they do on driving a vehicle? Not per se. When you look at it, they have subsection B is under the influence of intoxicating liquor. So you don't have to be at the 0.08 to be nailed with a DUI in the state of Oregon. With the way this is worded, it leaves it open to where you can get nailed even at a 0.04 if you're like a lightweight when it comes to alcohol drinking. And for me, I consider myself a lightweight because I don't drink that often. In fact, actually, I think I drank more this month than I have in the past almost year combined. Just because of the drunken roams, which I think 3 beers a night, so 6 beers. And then I had 3 beers at the Super Bowl party, so yeah, I've only had 9 drinks this month. And so that's, I mean, the thing is yeah, you might have a little bit of beer in your system if you intoxicated at that point. Well, guess what? They're gonna book you and all that stuff and impound your rickshaw or your wheelchair or something like that, possibly, or your bicycle, in this kind of issue. But as is, let's see here. We've only been recording for a half hour. I don't think I'm gonna do too long one. Never admit to drinking if asked. That is the best advice right there. You have a right against self-incrimination, and you don't have to state that you had any drinks, and you have the freedom of speech to refuse to answer that question. Freedom of speech also gives you the freedom to not speak too. Keep that in mind. So, I mean, as people like to say, oh, that only applies to court. No, there's more than one way how that applies. I don't drink and nothing to admit. That's a good one. All right, so as is, we had some fun looking at the let's see here, looking at the laws of DUI here in the state of Oregon and some of the other subsections that apply to all that. I will update this a little bit when this goes to the archive with the other spots that we looked at for the bicycle part and all that. But let's have some fun with the drama aspect that I know some of you probably want to hear more about between me and Captain Vlogs. So, hi, my right to film. So let's have the fun stuff here. Now, over on Cajun Auditor the Bayou, I asked him to fill me in. Well, after that was several days ago. Well, after the live stream the other day, Vlogs decided to chime in. Here's what's going on, Bunny. Names fit you, fits you, but you made yourself look like a fool on your own channel. Defend people fighting with me trying to justify eating and causing harm to animals. I will stream tomorrow, and you can come to my channel. You can say you're human shit. I will prove everything you said wrong, making you look even stupider. At 56 years old, a biologist, nutritionist, like years ahead of you, it'd be like educating you from a kindergarten age. I was on my own channel. You eat animals, and I didn't like what you heard. So, like a teenager, you did a live stream with over an hour all about me. I'm gonna stop there, and I point this up in a rebuttal. I did not spend over an hour focusing on his dumb ass. To be honest, Law, you're butthurt and childish, putting so much effort in defend animal abusers and causing harm to animals. Actually, I didn't really put much effort into this one. And for the record, humans eating animals getting type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease has killed more humans than anything we know of in all of human history. I don't think this guy understands what type 2 diabetes is and how it generally happens. Type 2 diabetes in general is, if I remember correctly, is on this one, is the body having an immune response to sugar, or well, the sugar production or whatever. Well, the stuff that deals with the sugar production. Because I got family members that I'm pretty sure are type 2 diabetes that have this issue. And it's the type 1 where just your body quits producing the insulin altogether, but the type 2 is when your body actually attacks the insulin production. Let's see here. But it continues on. The saturated fats clogging the arteries. Funny how not one single omnivore or carnivore can die of this disease. This kind of thing can happen to vegetarians too. There is saturated fats in plant food if you don't pay attention. Let's see here. Let's see. Omnivores can die of this disease. Not a disease. It's a life choice because it can be cured on a healthy vegan diet. You will be educated. Trust me, humans are biologically herbivore. Clear across the charts. I teach this dumbass law. And so I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, dude, you can't even type words, you can't even put together a coherent freaking sentence with these. I mean, you can misspell too and all that stuff. Granted, I have bad spelling of grammar skills, but I make up for it by making sure I run through a grammar checker most of the time, or Grammarly kind of thing, or at least a spell checker. But here's my response to him last night. Well, I mean, after I get done with my little live stream or whatever. Captain Vlogs, when is this live stream? I've been up all night, live streaming with my audience, enjoying beers and playing pool and hanging out with a refugee from the Middle East. It is early in the morning my time. I probably will sleep through it. I'm sorry. If it is early in the morning my time, I will probably sleep through it. Also, the entire stream wasn't dedicated to you. More or less, about 30 to 40 minutes might have been on you. The rest was about internet blood sports and some other civil rights stuff. As is, you can go back and look at that live stream and see that I probably didn't even spend 30 minutes on that kind of thing. I've sat there and maybe bantered 20 minutes and all that stuff, and then sat around and waited for his ass to see if he would pop up. Now, here is where it gets a little bit better. It goes, it is hilarious to me that you actually think humans are omnivores, lol. But there is also part of a comment that was deleted. And here it is in the upper right here. Here's the notification. If you were to click on this now, it's supposed to link right to here. In fact, actually, I'm going to prove that. Okay, here is Cation, the auditor of the Bayou little thing here. Okay, give it a second here to load up. But it's supposed to be in this comment chain, but it's not. So let's go ahead and go back over here. Lol, you came to me, little drunk man. But I delete and hide videos because not only do I see you through your childish tricks, but I see how it bugs the shit out of you, dumbass. Dumbasses like you. And then there was some more. And, of course, accused me of being a drunkard and wanted to drag me over to Facebook. So, I replied to this. Interesting that I have noticed you deleted some comments accusing me of being a drunkard. Captain Vlogs and directing me to your Facebook page. Here's the deal. I'm not interested in arguing in text chats. I want vocal argument where an audience can hear us go at it. The fact that you hid the video posting saying that you would demolish me in a debate shows, show more about your character than me having to listen to your videos in past live streams. And his retort about an hour ago, lol, you come to me, little drunk man, but I delete and hide videos because not only do I see through your childish tricks, but I see how it bugs the shit out of dumbasses like you. You should be embarrassed from all that effort you put into little on me. Wait, is that? Oh wait, dang it, I'm reading the wrong one. Hold on, let me scroll down. I read the wrong one on that one. Okay, when you ever, okay, sorry. So correction on myself on that part. 15 hours ago, this is the comment I actually wanted to show. And when you click on it, let me pause this. It'll show up as a non-highlight comment here. See, there's no highlight comment signifying that's been deleted. But here's the comment. And so this was my mistake on this part. Correcting myself once more. Whenever your drunken ass wakes up, you can come to my page where I can post the facts about facts to the dumb shit you like to say. So your live streaming friends will have to come here to my page. As is, I don't play those stupid games. No. Here's the deal. We're gonna have it out in public. Facebook restricts people to what they can see. And I'm not gonna sit here and do a freaking text chat bullshit back and forth. If you want to live stream your side of things and live stream it to Facebook, go, by all means, live stream it from your side. I want to live stream from my side. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with text chat. I'm not going to waste my fucking time on that shit. So, anyway, as is, you can see him deleting that comment, and you can see his bullshit comment about deleting his about saying it's driving me up the walls with his childish antics. No, it just makes you look like a petty bullshitter. That's all it is. If you can't sit there and get in the arena and discuss this or debate me or blood sports it with me in the arena public opinion, I'm not even gonna worry about you, man. Screw you. You can go fuck off. So, oh, and one other interesting thing real fast about his channel. The most popular video on his channel is 10K views from last month, where apparently the cops were harassing, these guys were protesting at SeaWorld, and this one lady was out there all body painted up, She is topless with the body paint. I think she's wearing some form of underwear, whatever. And the cops were trying to accuse her of, I guess, causing a wreck that happened further down the road or something like that. So, that's quite interesting. I'm not even going to bother to play it or anything like that, so... But that's pretty much the, like, one notable thing I noticed on his channel there that was civil rights oriented. And if there's a civil rights kind of issue, I definitely want to point that out. So just keep that in mind. I'm not by no means really promoting him. I'm just promoting, hey, yeah, there was a civil rights video that popped up on his channel. And I love to point that stuff out. Yeah, it is petty bullshit. As is, when you got people that are sitting there and acting like this, they're not worth the time. And in fact, First Amendment test, I just cool, Sam I am. Or, yeah, I think that's Sam or whatever. Oh, to know, you tell us of naked woman. Yeah, of course. But anyway, or semi-naked woman. But nonetheless, I had one person about a year and a half ago, I think it was, who was commenting on my channel. And anytime anybody posted a response to him that would blow, that would really completely just debunk his argument, he would delete the comment, which would delete the reply in turn, and repost the same comment. He did this about 3 or 4 times. And when I pretty much figured out what the hell he was doing, because I was sort of scratching my head, like, wait, I thought I replied to this, and then I realized, wait, this has got a different timestamp on it. I banned his ass from the channel because I'm not gonna fucking deal with that bullshit. If you're gonna sit there, post, and then when someone hits you with a real good counter argument that you can't really deal with, and you go and delete it and then try to do the same thing, no, I'm not gonna have time for that. I'm not gonna put my subscribers through that, my viewers. I'm not gonna deal with it. That's part of the reason why I actually like these live stream debates, discussions, the blood sports, is because you can't go back on your words, especially when a bunch of people watch it. Telling me, lack of meat has messed up this private up. I've washed my hands with him. Like you said, not worth much time. Yeah. I mean, he's even admitted, I dedicated so much time. I barely wasted any time on this guy. At best, it's a little bit of entertainment. Please kill the background music. Here, I'll turn it down. As I said, the background music is there to deal with the background noise that the mic is picking up from a TV through the wall, and this is sort of an experiment, so I'll turn it down a little bit if it was a little bit too loud there, so sorry on that part. Not apologizing if it's distracting, no. Whoops, wrong one. I need to find the right window. There. But as I said, this is sort of also a little bit of experiment. I do all kinds of little experiments with my live streaming, testing things out, and you guys sort of get to come along for the ride of that. What music? I'm on YouTube. No music here. Well, if you got headphones on, you might hear music a little bit quiet in the background, Harkrow. I stated earlier at the start that there is some music in the background. It's really low key. It's more or less to sort of drown out the white noise that you would hear from background, either my computer being picked up by the mic or something else. Some trolls have entertainment value. Others are just plain ignorant, arrogant, belligerent, or a combination of therefore. Yeah, that is very true. In fact, actually, I listened to a guy earlier who was just straight up idiot, a belligerent idiot who was so cringy, he wasn't even worth trying to talk with, to be honest, on some lady's live stream. And he wanted to roll into the Kumite. He wanted to get on the morning Kumite. But he couldn't he was drunk on the live stream. He couldn't banter. He couldn't troll. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't even hold a decent argument. And at which point, I sat there and pointed out in the on the chat, it's like, this guy wouldn't last in the Kumite. He would knock himself out with the first punch. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's a serious. And if you look in the bottom left of the screen there, you can see where the music's being played. That is, I made up a background music playlist out of TechnoAxe stuff. I'll probably feed in a few other royalty-free musicians out there. But right now, this is all just some low-key melodies from TechnoAxe. He's got some quite the variety over there. And if you need some music where you're not going to have to deal with copyright stuff, I recommend checking him out. Did I miss the DUI chat? My buddy got one riding his horse law. We had to pick him up. Yeah, we finished that about, let's see here. How long, where are we at on time-wise? Yeah, we finished that about 10 minutes ago, actually. We're just wrapping up talking about Captain Vlogs there, who is a douchebag and no one needs to waste his time with him because he can't, he won't actually step in the ring. Yeah, was the horse drunk or was it just the rider? Actually, is that a big E on that one? Because I am very curious on that. But as you can see, it's quite interesting when it gets... Let's get back over to civil rights. It's quite interesting to see how, well, civil rights and DUI, how DUI laws can really hammer you up and possible violate your rights and stuff like that. You know, when you don't think about it. It's like, I'm riding a bike, I'm a little bit drunk. Well, if it's on the street, you might get pulled over in the state of Oregon and get arrested for DUI. Can you get a DUI on a riding lawnmower? Riding lawnmowers are generally motorized, so I would probably say yes. I can get a ticket for speeding driving a tank. Okay, David Smith, I'm guessing you're driving a tank on a military post there. And might not have been a tank, it was probably an APC or, oh man, what was that called? A striker. A striker. Those can definitely get up there in the speed right there. Tanks, they get about 55 miles an hour. You might have pulled it off with the tank, but then I'm questioning why were you going that fast on the pavement with a tank? Yeah, back in '85, I went through a drunk school with a guy who got a DUI while riding a horse. You know, I'm going to need to look up some information on the whole DUI and horse riding and see how that goes, because I'm betting that someone told me that there's actually a federal case law on that where you can that validates saying that you can't get a DUI on while riding a horse. But that's going to take some research. I don't know if I'll get to it in a soonish matter. It was a hoot because he really was the GT. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last one there. I cut him off months ago because I got neg vibes there. Auditing is not about hate. Yeah. The thing is I don't care really who you are. If you're going out there doing First Amendment auditing, First Amendment testing, you're doing the cop watching, as long as you're not interfering with police operations or anything like that, if your rights get violated, I'm going to help you out where I can. I mean, I have my beefs with other people that are in the thing. I mean, well known that I don't like Omaha Cop Black for a lot of the shit he pulls. But when there's something going on where his rights are violated, I'm going to sit there and send him information that I know that will apply for the situation and see if and hope that he can be able to use it to defend himself in that issue. What if the horse is drunk? I don't even... Well, maybe that would count for public intoxication of a horse? That is a good question. Fathom Lord Carther. I'm gonna for that one. BB, how about an audit at an SS Social Security office or a welfare office? David Smith, I'm actually with you on that. I'm wanting to actually do some stuff along those lines. And I probably will at some point in the near future. I'll be getting back out there when things start warming up. It's just, it's been cold, it's been rainy, and I've been sort of holding back on getting out there and doing any filming until it starts to really warm up. So once we really get stuff going on the temperature-wise, we'll start kicking it back up with the whole filming of public places. But wintertime, it just in general sucks. No one's going to come out and want to get out of the building or anything like that to come out and talk to you. They're just going to look at him and I go, look at that moron. He's out there standing there just filming or whatever. Usually nothing happens. Which is a good thing. But I want to test it when there's a potential that they might come out and just fuck with you. Well, I just saw J50 get assaulted outside a military base. Okay. Was that... What? Let me... Okay, let's take a look at the subscription feed here. Johnny50. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Johnny. I don't think that was Johnny50. Yeah, this was another guy. This was Arizona Auditor.
Arizona Auditor here.
And here, let's get to the point where he gets assaulted here.
No, what is all right? I don't think you know it.
I am not violent.
Okay. Okay. Here it is. Here's the key part, guys.
I don't get giving you permission. You know that?
You're out in public, sir. Are you aware of the law?
Do you understand you don't have my permission to film me?
Sir, please don't violate my rights.
I am not violating my rights. You do not have my permission to take my picture. Taking pictures. You filming me? I don't get giving you permission. You know that?
You're out in public, sir. Are you aware of the law?
Oh boy, how many bars?
Sir, please don't violate my rights.
I am not violating my rights. You do not have my permission to take my picture.
Hey, shoot. Sir, don't touch my camera, sir. Don't touch my camera, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That guy's an NCO. Hold on, let's look this up here. God, I've been out of the military for way too long. Okay, Air Force. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, is that E6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no, he was an E5, wasn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, he's an E6. So, wow, what a stupid move by an E6. Assaulting someone outside a post. What do you guys think on that one here? Attempted theft, assault and battery. I like how he said sir and held his own. Yep. Yep, Tech Sergeant. Yeah, so yeah, this guy literally was trying to commit a strong-armed robbery.
Don't touch my camera. I'm touching the fucking camera. Why are you touching my camera?
Notice the MP is quickly getting over here, turned around to get over in the spot.
Sir, this is assault. You're trying to break my camera, sir.
But you guys get an idea what happened with this. And Luke Air Force Base really needs some work. As is, I would love to have a trip to go over there and maybe drone their facility. I would have to make sure I find the right spot to do it. But if I remember correctly, there is a few places that there would be it's uncontrolled airspace where you could do such a thing. Yep, someone being a vigilante and going about it in the wrong way. You can be a vigilante and do it legally, but you have to be careful. There is a fine line about doing that kind of stuff. And if you don't do it right, yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, he's an E6. We talked about MMA last night. I'm watching, waiting for an MMA star to go auditing and have so. Oh, that would be interesting. On that part, someone that's buffed up and all of a sudden someone tries to roll up on them because he's filming. I think you're about to hook him up with a 45 half month paid. Oh yeah, an Article 15. Yeah, I mean he's not gonna do so well for on that issue because he decided to go and assault someone outside of base. That's if he the auditor doesn't actually press charges for battery and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree. There is too many loose cannons over there at the Luke Air Force Base. And as is, I would love to have a chance to get over there and do some stuff, but that takes money. Traveling costs money. For me to do like a round trip up to Portland or something like that, or maybe Seattle, I'm looking at almost that's like $80 right there on bus tickets. Because I don't have a vehicle, I don't have the money to pay for a vehicle, and just me doing like a Greyhound up there, that's like pretty much the cheapest way to go. It is about $80 round trip. Or well, no, I might be able to pull it off for like $50, but as I said, I have to be work with the the pricing and all that stuff. I'm gonna go out of the strip joint. Well, it better just be the outside, Biggie, because they'll throw you out real fast on that aspect. I've seen a lot of people get thrown out of strip joints being stupid. Staff Sergeant in the Army. Yep, that would be a Staff Sergeant in the Army. You can take public transit depending on where you are. Yeah, well, over here in Eugene, there's a decent public transit network. I can go over to quite a few places within a reasonable cost. But as is, when it comes down to traveling outside of that, it gets expensive because then I have to find other means of transportation, which involves maybe a Greyhound. If I'm lucky, Amtrak might service there. Though Amtrak and flying, well, taking the train versus flying is very close in cost comparison. When I was going through the numbers, I think it was week before last when I was just checking things out. Did Portland to Canada via public transit? Well, you might be referring to like Greyhound then, because there's a limit to there's dead spots when it comes to like the standard public transit that I'm thinking of. My opinion, I think they're going to try to save face in the public eye, and they're going to make an example of this guy. Well, this guy, well, a little bit of an example. The question is I don't think they are. Remember, Silent Citizen has an ongoing case with this same Air Force base, and they're trying to railroad them as much as possible. Barnaby, think, have you ever watched those dead mall videos where people with 300K subs like Dan Bell or Retail Archaeology go into malls or commercial plazas just to film places? I have, and I would love to get into that. I just haven't really found any dead anything like that in the area, but I haven't really explored that option too much in around here. Not the Greyhound. Okay. Cloudy Sierra, if you have a chance, like, shoot me a message on Twitch or something like that, and let me know about more, some more details on that. I would like to hear more about how that all works. So, that would be very handy, because if I'm able to have a cheap means of getting around a little bit more that you know about that I don't, that might help us out to get more video content with the First Amendment test. Get out there and do some more stuff. Dan Bell is trespassing a private property. Not sure. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that is correct in that instance in a way, but that is dependent. Do they have no trespassing signs up, Cajun Auditor? When it comes to trespassing laws, you definitely want to look those up for your state and see how those apply. Also, remember, there could also be municipal ordinance or county ordinance that deals with trespassing too. So you want to be brushed up on that kind of stuff. TriMet, King Metro, Kitsap Transit, etc. Okay. Yeah, that'll be yeah. If you can, yeah, get with me a little bit later on, and I'll research that more. Hell, it would be awesome if there was a cheap way of like getting my butt up there. But also keep in mind, it's not just the cost of travel. Well, the cost of the transportation. It's also having places to stay and all that. I found videos of airport TSA stations to be pretty interesting. TSA get out of hand. Yeah, they can. We've seen that in the past. But they seem to be getting better. There's only been a handful of issues, and it's usually dealing with local law enforcement when it comes to those issues. Arizona did not make a complaint to the Glendale police. This took place off base because he didn't want to give his personal info. Okay, well, yeah. As I said, I haven't seen all of it. I've just seen the important part of the video. And as is, how should I put it? With all that situation, depending on how you want to handle it is going to be very important. But when it comes to giving up personal information, you got to weigh the odds, weigh the issue on that. Chances are they are going to find out your personal information within a few days of this incident. They're going to be able to know all that because they'll put in a request to a higher agency or something like that and get your info. Shout out to Tony Vera. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Tony Vera. I love his work over his what was it? Photography work or videography work over at the airport and some of the stuff he's got going on. If you're ever in San Francisco Bay Area, you can stay in my guest room. Thank you, First Amendment Tess. Actually, you know what? I would love to have some fun over in San Francisco. There's a lot of cool stuff that's over there a lot of people don't see. And yeah, a dead mall kind of thing. Yeah, there's a ton of cool... It's just interesting being in places that are like dead and closed down. AAA didn't get it, did it right. Keep it up. Keep it to the vest. The patrol guy can't be trusted to write it up. Yeah, as is. The thing is that guy was an MP there. You'd have to talk with... You need to... Since it happened off post, it has to deal with the police that have jurisdiction in that area if you're going to try to file charges. Or try to push criminal charges. And even then, that's up to the DA if they're going to actually do it or not. The auditor said he wasn't pressing charges right then. He did say that he'd deal with it later. Okay, thank you, Hartgrove, for that information. So, it's as is, when it comes down to these things, how you handle it's really up to that individual person. I'm wondering when one of the auditor meet up with an idiot cop who goes way too far. I don't like thinking of it, but there's some out-of-control cops, and I face your auditors. Yeah, there are some out-of-control ones out there that even if there's a large group of people, they will still go off the rails. Thumb drive out of my bag. Well, a lighter, I can understand, Franklin Lame there. But the thumb drive, yeah. But the question is, are you sure they stole it, or did it get fall out because they're going through it? And they don't generally allow lighters through the TSA checkpoints, I think, anymore. I'm not 100% sure on that aspect, so. Or I could be wrong on that one. I don't smoke. I don't really carry a lighter on me, so I wouldn't really know on that aspect. Let's see. I was assaulted at fairgrounds a couple of times. I didn't report, so I could remain anonymous. Okay, well, as is with that kind of situation, that you're dealing more with the private security issue, and that's up to you on how you handle that. So, I don't know if I remember seeing that or whatever. What's up, Boots from Arizona? Hey, Southwest Rebel auditing out of Yuma. I'll be going. Oh, that's good to hear. I hope everything goes well and not like this or with Silent Citizen. Hey, Lone Star. He said he was pressing charges and would file them with the video evidence. Yep, I would be doing the same thing. I would wait a day or two, let the reports get sort of written up, kind of thing, and then go in and put in my evidence and try to push for charges. I remember a video where a cop took a pic of an auditor and came back 20 minutes later and knew the person's name. What's the legality of cops using facial recognition? Yeah, I think they're recognition instead of recognition databases to intimidate people. Well, when it comes down to the whole intimidation thing, they get a lot of leeway with the spoken word. They get a lot of leeway. They can lie to you. They can make up all kinds of shit. But as is, it depends on how and they're going about that intimidation and what exactly is the intimidation about. They can use facial recognition they like. It's not illegal, and that is the truth. And here's the thing. Guess what? If we really wanted to, on our own, we can create our own facial recognition database and sit there and do the exact same thing to them. If we wanted to put together the resources and put it together, and it would not be illegal for us to do. That is for sure. They pulled the check bag. It was inside a zipped pocket with my thumb drive. It's possible that it might either they mistaken the thumb drive also for a lighter, or it might have fallen out. So don't be too quick to accuse malicious intent where incompetence can easily apply. So I hear you can't film this building. I crack up. Or TSA, you can't film this. Then put up barrier. Same with building logics gone. Yeah. Should have more than one camera. I have seen many using more than one camera. I recommend it. My personal favorite way to do it is live stream, but don't be obvious with it. Maybe have it on the body, like with this shirt right here. This is a chest pocket. I'm actually, when I go to I go to Walmart, I buy these cheap shirts because they have this front pocket right here, and then my cell phone right here. can fit perfectly. Here's the camera right here. I think that's viewable. Hold on, let me make sure. This is viewable here. Okay, sorry. So, front pocket here on this shirt. Here's my phone. Fits into the pocket. And the camera port gets covered up a little bit. But, also, since it's got a dual camera, the other camera sits a little bit higher. Now, because I'm using Streamlabs when I'm doing the live streaming, I can keep the screen off so it doesn't, so they don't know it's recording. So if there's like any kind of investigation or whatever, well, guess what? They won't think, oh, the cell phone probably does, it wasn't on, it wasn't recording. So there you go. You can do the same thing with like a small clip-on camera or body camera, or just have it sitting in this pocket here. This is, I mean, when I'm out and when it's warm and all that stuff, it's easier to do. I can't really do this with my coat or some of the other gear I have on me on that aspect. You could also just do a chest-mounted GoPro like News Now Houston does. What's your next drone flight over the NSA again? I don't know yet. As is, I got to get a new battery for the drone, and there's other things I want to accomplish, and I haven't diverted any funds really to the whole battery thing. Once more. Let's see, they caught fugitive using facial recognition on driver's license. Yep. Theoretical makeup can work wonders at confusing facial recognition. Add boils, crooked nose, massive pimples, etc. Let them take all the pics they want. Be careful, Hartgrove. Did you know having makeup on in public can count as trying to hide your face, and it would fall underneath some laws for it would be the same as wearing a ski mask or something like that in public, or wearing some sort of mask to conceal your identity. Let's see. You're always giving away all your secrets to your Popo followers. Shh. Well, I may be giving up the secrets to them, but I'm also informing the other activists that are out there about my secrets, so this way they can succeed. And even then, not all of them watch my stuff, and so not all of them are going to be wise to it. Very few of the cops that we run into that cause problems watch our stuff. Otherwise, they wouldn't be out there breaking the law. My scrubs I wear, my phone fits perfectly where both cameras stick out. I'm thinking getting one of those cube cameras, as I'm not wealthy enough for a GoPro, unless they're... Cloudy Sierra, check out Wish. They have... they're a discount Chinese site. You might be able to get some decent action cameras that are not quite there to GoPro quality, but they're close enough to do the job. And you can get it for like $100 to $200, way cheaper than a GoPro. You might even be able to get them for $50 if you really want to go on that. Just there is like a no return kind of thing. So once you buy it, you buy it. BBI, was the pocket we're in last? No, you were not in that pocket. And in fact, actually, this is my sweatshirt that I was wearing last night. You guys were sitting in this pocket here. You're doing my waist pocket. Oh yeah, you can wear a mask. Oh, or sock there. News Now Houston tends to wear a mask often because I hear he's mentioned a lot. News Now Houston is currently the biggest auditor out there right now. The biggest person when it comes to the First Amendment stuff. A lot of people recognize him just on the facial kind of stuff, which sort of puts a damper on it. That's part of the problem with, like, you get famous doing this stuff, all of a sudden all the people that know about you or know about this kind of stuff, they're going to know about you. And so when you roll up, they're going to just go, oh, that's David from News Now Houston, or that's News Now Houston out there. Something that I had to sort of worry about up there in Alaska, because small population, word gets around, everybody sort of knows you. So you have to sit there and edge yourself into it. You sit there and you go and hit something, wait a month or whatever, you come back, maybe hit some other building or whatever. And that's why I wasn't really doing too much. I only filmed in small bouts or whatever. I'd go and film a few things here and there. Have you seen Eric Bandit YouTube? He's from Colorado. He records for most arrests. Oh, let's take a quick look. I don't know if I'm subscribed to him, so... NNH has been wearing cold weather mask lately. You know, it sort of helps that it's been cold. Do not giving up anything they don't already have. Yeah, that is true. Eric Bandit. Okay, I am subscribed to him. And, okay, no, he liked the video. Okay, so, but he hasn't done anything in a while. But yes, I am subscribed to him and sort of keep track of him to some regard. Oh, let's see here. Backtrack this a little bit here. Oh, okay, never mind. This was about that, so. Let's see. How long have we been at this? We've been at this for a little over an hour. Let's see. Tom Zero has a ton more subs than in News Now Houston? Really? Hold on. Let me check that. Okay. It's time for some checks. Tom Zebra. Oh shit, I didn't realize he was up to 69. So, but then again, Tom Zebra does cop watching. So he actually does a different genre than what News Now Houston does. So when it comes to First Amendment filming, First Amendment auditing, First Amendment testing, News Now Houston is in the lead with 56K. No one else. He passed Honor Your Oath a couple months back, who currently is sitting at 46,000 subscribers. So, and we're just using the subscriber metric. This does not take into account the viewers, the monthly views, which also is an important play in that aspect. I generally view the monthly viewership as a sort of a better gauge for all of what's going on. And then, okay, so we saw Tom Zebra there. And Tom Zebra, I don't know of any other cop watcher that is bigger than Tom Zebra. Yes, he is the largest when it comes to the cop watching. About the pocket is I lost about $4 in there. Check and see if there's still. Hold on. Let's see here. No, I don't see it. When did you relocate to Oregon? How have you liked the mild winter this year? I relocated late last year, but I was gone for 2 months, almost 2 months out of the winter there. I was back up in Alaska visiting family and dealing with some stuff that cropped up. But, oh, that reminds me. I'm going to switch this over to here. And I want to also give you guys a better view of this real fast. Now, let's see here. Hopefully I can get this up close enough. This is the notice card here that was handed to me last weekend when I was out filming. There we go. This is exactly what it looked like. I hope that's a good enough resolution for you guys. And I read that off to you. And I lost this actually last week. Well, yeah, last week I forgot about it. And then I was like, wait, where is it? And then I finally found it again. So I hope that was up long enough. If not, you guys can come back and watch the archive and pause it. Let's see here. When did you see? Oregon duck fights hilarious. He really gets did get this suspended. I'm gonna have to look this one up here. Let's see. I have a question about ID. Local law here uses the same terms, request and demand. It states that you can be stopped, and the officer can request. But if you are in a vehicle, may demand ID. Am I right on assuming that if it says request, that it's something I can decline? Yes. When it says request, it means that it is a question. It is, may you do something? When the word demand means is usually it has to happen. That you have no recourse of denying that. When it comes to in a vehicle, I think that the demand part is in dealing with the driver and not necessarily the passengers. But I don't know what the laws are for your state, Cloudy Sierra, on that aspect. I got some cards like that made by the ACLU. That's cool. Love Tom Zebra. He got me interested and intrigued. Yeah, Tom Zebra was actually one of the first people I also started watching too back in the day before I started doing the filming. Oregon Duck mascot fight. Okay, now you got me intrigued. Let's look this one up. And I'll bring you guys back here to 10 years ago. Well, there's been a couple of these. Meet Mandrake Duck, Oregon Ducks mascot that didn't fly. Okay, let's just look at this old one here. They actually start oh yeah, they do get it into a brawl. Okay, come on. Let's watch them throw some punches here. Here you got them laughing. Officer can request anything they like, just like you can. Officers will often try to use intimidating language such as, I need to see your ID, when in fact they are not required to. Did Onus get in trouble with YouTube, Frank? Did he get shut down or something like that? Oh. I don't see any like commentary on that. Does he have like a Twitter or anything like that? No, he doesn't have a thing on that. So I would like to know more about I think Stanford Tree got in a fight. Haha. Honest Poetic 2, Blackable are all up there, but not alone. Yeah, it as is. How should I put it? I mean, I'm comfortable where I got to so far with my YouTube channel. I mean, I'm closing on 10,000 subscribers. That's cool. But, let's see here. That's right. Let's take a look at where I'm at. Money would think. I'm sitting at 9,700 subscribers. I average a decent amount of viewers each month. And so I'm doing pretty good. And on the size. Now, I could do a bunch of stuff that get me bigger, but I just don't want to do that with the civil rights stuff. If I'm going to make myself big or famous or anything on YouTube, I'd rather do it in the arena of blood sports or just educating people of on civil rights. Well, their civil rights and dealing with case law and reading that stuff off. See. Oh, Tom Zebra did a video on it. Okay, so let's Tom Zebra. Let's see if there's a recent one. Cop Block Bible. Do you know the name of the actual title of the video? And we'll take a quick look at that. Let's see here. 3 weeks ago. Maybe I might have seen something about that. We'll just do a quick onus search here. Yeah, I'm gonna need like a title for that to really know what you're talking about. Let's see. Felipe is real deal. When I lived in Washington, Seattle PD sure hated me when I actually gave ID because I gave them my Nexus pass, as it doesn't have an address on it at all. One time, an officer decided to kick my dog over that. Wow, that's grounds for a complaint there, Cloudy. Okay, thanks, Frank. Let me know if you find it, and just give me the title, and I'll be able to pull it up that way. Yeah, that's that's wrong. Kicking the dog. That is wrong. Gary Patrick. Well, while we wait for that, let's take a look at this. Paste, and we replace the .org. Imming. I guess this is his dad or something? Is this Felipe's dad? Or some sort of hemming. They're out of LA. Hemming Oswald. Interpin. Not sure what that is all about, so I'm not going to sit here and read text. Felipe and his wife are few and far between, yeah, but your live feeds are interesting and fun. Yeah, I try to make it a little bit entertaining as best I can. Please mirror this video. Don't let censorship win. 2 weeks ago. Okay. Let's take a look. Maybe, yeah, I think I did actually see that. It's even more wrong as the dog is a service dog. Seattle PD did nothing to the officer when I filed a complaint. They just took it and saw I was just a person and dropped it in the trash. That's generally what happens quite often. Okay, yeah, I do. I think I remember seeing this.
Video hate speech? Or is it more likely that somebody hates my speech? This video was flagged as hate speech. YouTube reviewed the video and agreed that it was hate speech, trying to censor.
That they got a complaint of some kind, they show up and it blew up.
And detained in the back of these police cars, but
okay, yeah, I do remember seeing this one. It took me a little bit to remember.
they're being detained.
All right, it's sort of stupid how this one got flagged.
Yelling to that girl.
Because literally nothing happens in this video, nothing that he states is considered hate speech. He's talking about the situation that these people are involved in. And the poor girl that's going through with this specific traffic stop. Remember correctly, with this specific incident, the mother of the girl had a warrant or something like that. And so they arrested the mother. The kid, her daughter, was being taken into to child protective services or whatever because of the situation. And then everybody else was eventually let go. They were told to leave. They had to get in their camper and leave the area or whatever. And the fact that this got nailed for hate speech is really stupid and just goes to show you that some of the people that are working the whole the YouTube thing aren't paying attention to what they're looking at or don't even care. Chances are they're not even caring. It's even more wrong. Okay, so anyway, I already read that comment. Anyway, I am sort of getting parched here, and my back's starting to hurt, and I want to go ahead and lay down. Thank you guys for actually being here with me on this. And as is, I will definitely try to have... here we go, transition this out. I'll try to have the citations up shortly after I end the stream for all the stuff that we sort of looked at throughout the day. 4:07 a.m. Do you know where your like button is? That's a good one, Grim. Not sure if Sorite went, but he got most out of his videos taken down. If you look at Onus, he only has 11 videos. Yeah, that freaking sucks. He might have became a victim of flag campaign too. Facebook at least outsources the hate speech review to India, and YouTube just uses bots. Yeah, that is true. Thanks for the broadcast. Yeah, but as is, I need to go ahead and wrap this up and give my back a rest from sitting in this chair here. Because sitting for too long is actually bad for your back. That's why you got to get up and stand around and do some stuff. And for me, it's either I stand up and sort of hover around a little bit while standing, or I lay down, which is not too bad. So it just means I'm a sloth at that point. Maybe I'll make a joke video or whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and end tonight off with some music. Oh, that reminds me. I need to find an ending screen kind of thing. We'll go ahead and end with Meeting of Genres from Techno Axe here. So that way you guys can hear that. And I hope you guys have a good evening or a good morning in that regard. So Oh, and I need to fix the volume on this before I hit play.